Pretty good. Listen, Steve, thanks for joining us. And first off, let's kick off. And I've heard the story and I was really inspired by it. And your inspiration behind Pickle and your seemingly unconventional approach to surviving that dreaded period, COVID. It's a really interesting story. So let's hear all about it.
So Pickle started just over 4 years ago. Well, 5 years for my journey. It was a year to build, but operationally 4 years ago. And the idea was to try and understand a gap in the market. And in UAE at that point, we saw that the burger market especially had this gap for fresh fast food. There was a lot of quality brands out there. There's a lot of fantastic independent brands out there as well. But we wanted to bring more lifestyle brand to the market. Many people can create a restaurant, they can create the food, they can put the logo above it. But our idea was not just to create a burger restaurant, but to create a brand, a lifestyle brand that people would connect with. So Pickle was born in April the 10th, 2019. And it was always born with that vision of being a global brand, of being able to open 200 stores across the world over the coming 10 years. And then we opened our first store. You know, it was busy, it was successful, it was hard work. And then COVID hit, which was, I think I speak for everyone in this room, not a good time. It wasn't fun. So we knew a few things were going to happen. We knew that either it wouldn't last forever and we'd come out of it, or it would be the end, and in that case, it wouldn't matter. So what we decided to do was seize the opportunity of COVID and to expand the brand across the UAE. And that gave us this opportunity to have more buying power with landlords, to upskill our staff in the front of house, into the back house, so we could have a 360 trained team at the end of it, and to really gain market dominance in a time when the market was quiet and no one was doing anything. It carried a lot of risk, but the rewards in the end were well worth it. We started that year with 1 restaurant and 36 people with 1 brand. We ended the year in December at 129 legends. We call our team legends because they truly are. And 6 restaurants. So we really did tail that out.
I mean, that's an extraordinary story, but take us through, I think we've all had that. We remember February, March that year, where the world really did cave in on us. What about that meeting when you got your co-directors and you got your key team together? How did that conversation go?
It was difficult, but again, there's only myself and my partner Nabil in this business. And one of the incredible things is our partnership that we have together, and we fully take ego out of any decision making. So as this was a big decision to expand during COVID, there was definitely ego checks as part of this. And it was we're either going to make this or break this. So we decided to go for it. And it was a unanimous decision that we expand the business during that time. And also, I think, what I'm most proud of throughout that expansion is, as well as hiring people when people weren't, we did not cut anyone's salary in the business. We still fully paid everyone.
And a lot of people have said this, haven't they? We looked after our team, we looked after our people, we didn't cut their pay, we kept them on. And you can actually, you grew your business more than tenfold, didn't you?
Yeah. I believe in people. I truly believe that once you've proven your brand and your product, the only place left to look is the people. And we don't just practice this, preach this, we practice this heavily as well. Our team have an aggressive bonus scheme, 5-day work weeks, 42 hours a week. We have a really aggressive ESOP program as well for our leadership team, because what's left is, once that brand and product is in the market and people have accepted it and you know it's working, it's just the people that execute that and look after your guest experience and every aspect of the business and that vision to take it forward. So this is where we truly did become a people business.
And I do love that. I mean, what you've done, you've actually, the team that came with you on that journey and believed in you, and I remember the conversation we were talking about, how you really took those people with you. Now they actually have a slice of the pie, so to speak. They are part of this success. And what you said to me last week was that actually we're going to make millionaires out of all these people.
It's exactly that, yeah.
This is going to be a global business, and we are going to make millionaires. That's balls deep, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can I say that?
No.
No. Okay. but that's bold. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
But that's bold. I don't know anyone else in the region who's doing that.
I mean, look, we've for the most part worked for other people. We've worked for other companies. We've all gone through the hard times, the good times. Making someone else their fortune. And what was important as part of this journey was to be able to capture key talent in the market. When you look at our leadership team today, they're absolutely incredible. Our COO is 15 years McDonald's, 5 years Shake Shack, 5 years Five Guys. Our chief commercial officer is the ex-commercial director of Deliveroo. My CFO is ex-Azadea. They really are a Ferrari team, an Avengers team almost. And the way that we captured that talent for someone to believe in a very small brand at that time, which was a singular brand that no one had ever heard of, was to incentivize them to join. But that came from that place where I wanted them to be part of the journey. And they work day in, day out for the belief in this brand that is no longer mine. This is now the company's brand. We have just shy of 500 legends working for the company today. And there was a sense of realization about 3 months ago where I was like, this isn't mine anymore. This is theirs. They're living and breathing this, and they are driving this forward for their passion for the brand.
But the passion has to start from somewhere, doesn't it? You're creating that vision. You've established that vision, and you've established that real and absolute purpose in that business that everybody has subscribed to, that you believed in them, and they are coming with you on this journey now. And there are very few businesses that are scaling in such a way to do that without falling over. And how you're protecting yourself now is, I'm going to bring you on to how you're going from single brand now to multi-brand, and your aspiration and your intent for you to build now a multi-branded global business. Take us through that. You're from creating brands and acquiring brands as well now. It's such an exciting time that you're on now.
So incredible, and I'm blessed for the journey that we've been able to be a part of. It's having Pickle from day one and having that strong brand. And I think people use the word brand a lot, but I do believe in a brand that is the vision for the people that work for it. Having a multi-brand group was always a pipe dream that we wanted to have. But the first outlook was to create one firm, solid platform to launch from. And that was Pickle. You see it in the market now. People go in, they create several brands, they put them out. I'm not even sure they're brands, they're logos with a food offering. But we wanted to have this firm platform to launch from. Part two of that was to, again, heavily invest into the business and to hire the leadership team to build the structure, to build the foundations for us to be able to add further brands, to be able to start franchising the business across the Middle East, for us to be able to acquire brands, to create brands. So that was an 18 to 20 month investment period where we hired our incredible leadership team and we built the structure for each department, which was high risk at that time as well for us. But if everything was a surety, then we'd all be billionaires by now. So at that point, we recognized that A, we were ready for franchising. We didn't want to roll out and not be able to support our franchise partners. And B, we had the foundation now to create our own brand. So we recently launched Bombird, which was a bone-in fried chicken concept, which has its first site in City Walk in Dubai. And we're expanding a further 6 Bombirds this year in the UAE. And we'll be rolling out the franchise next year. Next up, we have recently acquired the 1762 Group, which I had the chance to work for 5 years in the UAE, and I worked on their expansion, so I was the strategy director for the group. So I'm not sure there's many people that have that opportunity in life to acquire the group that you used to work for. So I've been very blessed there, which is an incredible, strong brand that has had a 14-year legacy in UAE as well. And today we're announcing that we have acquired the Climbing Goat Roastery as well, which gives us the coffee offering. But all of the brands sit under Yolk brands, and now we have that drive from the leadership team and the pipelines that Pickle has laid, especially for franchising across the Middle East, where the other brands will be following suit.
I love this, and you've the Climbing Goat brand is both those brands, 1762 and Climbing Goat, are very dear to me with our relationship we had with one of the founders, Manar. But I'm going to go off piste if that's okay, off the list. You keep mentioning this word brand, and I think it has a very different meaning on your desk than it might mean to others. What's your interpretation of brand in the Yolk brand world?
I think the misconception can be sometimes that a brand is a logo, and it really isn't. A brand is all-encompassing. It is every aspect of the business, from your product, your value proposition, your positioning, your interiors, your music, but also how the people believe and follow, and not just the people that work for you, but the general public as well, and how they engage and interact with that. And this is, if we take Pickle as a case study, as we started to extend the brand into different areas of people's lives. So you had the stores where you could go in and dine Pickle and experience that there. We had Pickle at Home, which would have a 30-minute shelf life as a brand in your home, but you wanted to engage with it. We brought out our own apparel range, so we had very famous for our Pickle legendary socks, our Pickle hats, our Pickle tees. So people started wearing the brand on the tennis court, on the golf course, which was extending its life as well. So it was all of these points of contact. As we engineered into our product range, our candy picker mix, which was a very fast delivery dessert offering, suddenly the brand was extended 3 days, 4 days on your coffee tables. You kept connecting with Pickle. So you wanted to be a part of this, and the marketing as well was key for this, that we treated people as people. And we weren't stiff with our customer base. We also called them legends. We interact, and we have genuine conversations with our customers. And this also goes back to the ego play, where we just remove the ego from the brand, and we listen to the people that love it, because it truly isn't ours anymore.
If there was a brand, Steve, that it could be any brand on the planet, from a global perspective, that has inspired you on this journey. We've talked about people, we've talked about the subliminal messaging, we've talked about extending the brand into other parts of our lives. Who's kind of got your attention?
So I think 2 brands really stand out for me. One is Nike, for their constant evolution and priority in putting product first in everything they do. I think they're absolutely incredible for that. And I think secondly, I'd go with Patagonia, especially recently where Patagonia, Yvon Chouinard, gave away Patagonia to a multitude of charities. So it became charity-owned and charity-led, which I think was incredible, but also for their environmental positions. I've spent my life surfing and fishing, and Patagonia was a big part of that as well. They were innovative, and they focused on one thing, and they did it well. Patagonia focused on climbing equipment, and they did it well. And then they added one more, then they added one more, then they added one more. And there's no difference in Yolk brands. Is we focused on Pickle, we did it well. Okay, now's the time we can franchise. Now let's do that well. Now's the time we can create. Let's do that well. Now's the time we can acquire. Let's do that well. So we always want to be able to be the experts in everything we do.
And I love that. And actually, that actually really does ring true. I remember, I don't know how many years ago, maybe 2-3 years ago, I sat down with Ashley in the first Pickle. And that was the exact message he had then. When we're ready, we'll go. We got lots we need to do first. This beautiful brand, we've only just given birth to this brand. When we're ready, we'll go. And I love that, actually, that message is still going through. Let's kind of bring us back on track. And you talked about going global, but only with 200.
200 for Pickle. We're looking at 1,000 stores over the coming 10 years for the Yolk Brands group. So currently we have a burger offering with pickle, a fried chicken offering with Monbird, the healthy eating market for 1762, and now the coffee market with the Climbing Goat roastery. So we will be looking, we're in talks at the moment with a few other brands for acquisitions, but we are looking at that mid-market QSR range, premium quality, lower price proposition, but that we're able to scale and roll out. And this is one of the beauties of the group as well, is we're able to take smaller footprint units and scale faster than most other companies can.
Yeah, and again, I love that approach. And here we are, we're in Saudi Arabia at the moment, and I know you've been coming in and out of Saudi Arabia, and where we are in Riyadh, I think we've all got our views on how this market has exploded over the last very short generation of incredible transformation. It's very exciting to see, and the high-end market is, I think, probably full, and my personal view is we're going to see transformation there, a lot of change there, and where you're occupying this casual sector, and you've been taking this very cautious approach and this steady approach. What are your plans? Have you got anything that you can share with us about your approach to Saudi and how and when you're coming to market?
So we'll be opening in the kingdom Q4 this year, alongside Qatar and Kuwait as well. But what Pickle's really doing now for the group is laying the pipeline with partners for the other brands to follow suit. So we'll be releasing Bomber to the market in the coming 6 months, and 1762 after we give it a bit of a mani-pedi over the coming 12 months. We'll also be following suit through those pipelines. But not just the Middle East, this is also, we're in talks for Europe and Asia as well for the Pickle brand.
So it's almost what came first, the chicken or the burger for Saudi?
The pickle, yeah.
So the burger comes before before the chicken.
Yeah.
And are you able to share your partners, or is there any kind of, can you share anything with us here, or are you just going to keep that in your shell?
We're going to keep that, for the press releases, for the big announcement.
All right. I see, I'm trying to. Simon here has got you well briefed, and so that's really good. And I for sure I've been coming here for a very long time now, and how you're preparing yourself for this market is truly impressive. I want to take it back to Stephen as the human, as the visionary behind this brand, and your leadership here, and for the team here and the audience here. Are there any kind of moments of kind of inspiration and of resilience of your journey on the Pickle journey over the last few years that you can share that kind of really helped you shape your future quest for this brand?
I think resilience is definitely the word. I think is any founder or entrepreneur going in to set up their own F&B outfit, resilience is going to be first and foremost every day of your life. But it's not easy. It's really not easy, and it's a humbling experience. I went from a director level from a previous group to setting up my own restaurant, where I was once again the chef, the cleaner, the cook, the PRO. I was running visas, I was stocking up shelves, I was doing the ordering, and this was hard. And in the early days, there was one key event which really kind of shook me to my core, and it was quite simply put that I'd been doing this for 20 years, and now I had my own restaurant, and on a Friday night at 6 p.m. I fully ran out of stock, and I had queues and queues and queues of customers coming into the restaurant yelling at me. I couldn't provide for the people that we'd taken the money for. I'm running around the restaurant. I didn't know how to do a refund on the POS at that time. It was this basic. And I had to run around, write receipts for people, write vouchers on napkins, take selfies with them, shut the restaurant, and I sent the staff home, and I cleaned down the whole restaurant myself, and I cleaned out the fryers, which is not a good job, mopped down, put the tables up, put the chairs up, and went out the front of the restaurant. This is about 2 months in, and I had people still trying to break the doors down. They'd heard about it. They wanted to have that burger now. And I just broke down, and I was like, I can't do this. This is too much. This is just too much. And then at that point, I realized that as a young entrepreneur founder, you are the only one that can do it. You're the only one. No one's going to come in on a stallion and save the day for you. No one's going to come in and do the hard work for you. You are the only person that can make this happen. So I shut the restaurant the following day. I came in at 5 in the morning. I prepped 400 kilos of chicken, 400 kilos of beef, 100 kilos of was it 100 kilos of, I actually remember it, 100 kilos of dill cucumber pickles, half that of chili, half that, made the sauces, made the spices, did all of this. And then we opened next day, and I vowed that we would never run out of food again, and we never have until this day. We've never run out of food again, and we're currently sitting at 28 restaurants across 4 brands, 8 cities, and we should be sitting at 42 restaurants by the end of the year across all of the brands, and running into around 96 next year. But that resilience and that realization that I was the only one that was going to make it was really key to where we are today.
You know, and I think that's just another one of those stories that have come out of COVID, come out of being that founder. You know, the guy behind Brewdog, you know, how he went and slept in his office on a mattress to simply survive, didn't he?
I've been there. I slept in the restaurant for about 3 weeks straight, and luckily I had a friend that owned a Pilates studio upstairs, so I used to share in the Pilates studio and then come back down. It was good memories, character building.
They truly are, and I think this industry really is made up of characters, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
It's an extraordinary business that you're building. And talk to us about your day at work now. Now you've kind of come out of the weeds, haven't you? And you have your leadership team around you that you're able to entrust in the business. What does a day as a founder and as a visionary behind your future 5,000 stores globally look like now?
I like how it's gone from 1,000 to 5,000, so I need to get back to work pretty quickly.
I need to come and sit in your boardroom.
So standard day for me now, you know, honestly, Dave, I'm still working 80 to 100 hours a week. This is one of the secrets as well, is hard work. I wake up at 5 a.m. I'm a firm believer in to-do lists. So 5 a.m. coffee, to-do list, what's happening today. I get most of my admin out of the way by 10 a.m. and then my day starts for meetings, 10 a.m. through to 6, 7, 8, 9, depending on the evenings. And I only tend to hold 30, 45-minute or 2-hour meetings. I don't understand the hour meeting thing that came through with Google Calendar. Today I'm primarily working more on strategy, finance, legal, and a lot of brand and product side of the business. But that's us in a nutshell.
It's awesome. We've got 96 seconds, which we can use up from the floor. James, are we able to use the floor if anybody has any questions for Steve? Just behind you, James. Lady here.
Thanks, Steve, for the insight. My question is, what do you keep for yourself as to do, and how much do you give out to your team, and how much do you delegate? Because sometimes there are certain departments that you need to keep it with you. And why do you keep it? And what do you really give out and delegate to the rest of your head of departments and team members?
I think that's a really good question. It's definitely something which is ever changing as well throughout the journey, is what do you give up when? And how do you let go of things? At what point do you let go of them? And that comes back to the people. When you have the faith that your COO or your CCO or your finance director, whoever is going to deliver for you at that point, then you're able to let go and step away. And as a founder, you end up having a very 360 view on the business and everything that stems from it. But today I have 6 people reporting into me. We try to keep it between 4 to 7 as a company. But letting go is definitely the hardest thing, and there's no magic equation for it. It's just what you feel is right at that time, and that you have the people that can follow through for it as well.
I think that's a really, really interesting question, that for a leader to go from running a small entrepreneurial business to running a global business, and the journey that they go on and the personal transformation that they go on is enormous, and who you take with you on that journey, and who you allow to empower on that journey. It's a whole other chat show, and we should talk. We'll talk about it again.
That's another hour or two conversation.
It sure is.
Yeah.
We'll do it over burgers and beer at some stage. That's all we have time for with Steve. And he's here for a couple more hours, and I'm pretty sure he'll be up for grabbing for a coffee or a glass of water if there's any other questions. Thank you so much, Steve, for coming all the way from Dubai to sharing your story.